Hey everybody, it's Jeremy here, and we are going to talk about a deck that I used in KC Cup and I continuously still use with a couple other decks, and ranked when I feel like playing it. This is a Lava Burn 2.0. You're going to be playing it on Weevil with the skill Parasite Infestation. What this does is after the starting hands are dealt, 1 or 2 Parasite cards are added to your opponent's deck face up. So when they draw into them, it'll go right onto their board as long as there's space available, and it'll do 1000 damage to them. It will go into defense position the second they draw it, straight from their hand. So, alright, so I'm going to talk about a few cards in this deck, and then we're going to go do a PvP match to see how it plays out. So, alright, so the first card we're going to talk about is a Lava Golem. As you know, most of you probably encountered this card or have this card, and you know what it does, but I'm still going to tell you in kind of a little explanation. So, you're going to tribute 2 monsters on your opponent's side of the field. It goes, you pick if it's attack or defense position as you put it on your field, on their field. One thing that can counter this is Floodgate. They can Floodgate it and flip it back over so they don't take the 1000 every standby phase. So yeah, watch out for that. Alright, so you want to stop that from attacking you directly, obviously, so you have other cards to deal with that, but we'll get to them when we get to them. So the next card we're going to look at is Sphere Karibo. I run 3 of them in this deck. What this does is when your opponent attacks you, you can use Sphere Karibo, you discard it to the graveyard, and it puts that monster into defense mode. Things that can counter this are like Divine Wrath, I believe, is one of the only things. Divine Wrath, and maybe some other cards I can't think off the top of my head. I'm drawing a blank. So the next card is Monster Reincarnation. Run 1 of these for the fact that if you want to get that, like your opponent sacks the Lava Golem and brings out something else to your, so they don't take damage, what you can do is discard a card from your hand and get that Lava Golem back in your hand and replay it on their side of the field when the time comes that you feel is right to play it back over there. So the next thing that's awesome about this deck is you don't play any monsters on the field on your side, so there's ways to deal with that too. This is just a full-on control board deck. So okay, so the next card is Burning Land. Pretty sure everybody knows what this does unless you're new and you've never played Yu-Gi-Oh. When this card is activated, if there are any field spell cards on the field, destroy them during each player's standby phase. The turn player takes 500 damage. So when it's your turn in standby phase, you take 500. When it's your opponent, they take 500. So, alright, next card is Mask of the Accursed. You equip it to a monster it cannot attack, and the controller of the equipped monster takes 500 points of battle damage during each of your standby phases. So it's your turn, you draw, so you have it equipped to something of theirs, they take 500 as long as the mask is on the board. Okay, and then next we run 3 of those masks. The next one is run 2 Floodgates. So Floodgate is a pretty popular card right now. It's gonna be for a while. So when your opponent, or even you, well I guess it's just your opponent, because if you summon Lava Golem on their side of the field, they can activate it and flip it over, and vice versa to you for some reason. If you end up playing like Sphere Karibos because you don't want to discard any cards and you're against like a mirror match, that's about the only thing. You don't want to discard any cards. That's probably the only thing to bait their Lava Golem and flip it. So Floodgate, let's say they play a Blue Eyes, like they cab a man into a Blue Eyes, and you have Floodgate on the board. You can flip Floodgate and then flip the Blue Eyes into face down defense position, and it cannot be changed back. Okay, so Wall of Disruption. This card is seeing a lot of play in many decks. I run 2 of them in this deck. When your opponent's monster clears an attack, all attack position monsters your opponent controls lose 800 attack for each monster they control. So they have 1, that's 800 attack down. It stays this way, by the way. So if they have 2 monsters, that's 1600 down. If they have 3, that's 2400 down. So it can basically make a Red Eyes useless. It can make anything under 2400 useless if they have a full board. Alright, so next card I run 3 of. It's Draining Shield. This is an excellent card for this deck. It's an excellent card all around. So when an opponent's monster clears an attack, target the attacking monster to negate that attack, and if you do, gain LP equal to the target's attack. So this card's really good in this deck as well to counter your own damage that you take from Burning Land. So, I mean, why not? So I run 3 of those. The next one is a card that's been around for a long time. We have Windstorm here. It's still used in a lot of decks, and I don't see it going away anytime soon. So change the battle position of all face-up monsters your opponent controls. This is a great defensive card if you don't have anything to deal with anything. So it's not really situational. You can waste it on one if you really want to. So yeah, so what makes this deck really good here, in my opinion, is Massive Morph. You run 3 of them, and target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Its attack and defense become double the current attack and defense, but it cannot attack directly. So since you're not playing any monsters on your side of the board, that monster is basically useless to them. They can't attack you directly, so it just stops it, and it tracks fully. So yeah. So we're going to go play a PvP match with this deck, and we're going to see what we go against. So things that, since I've been playing this deck, I've noticed that you should not not pay attention to. You want to pay attention to these matchups: Toon Kingdom, Ancient Gear, and there's a couple other ones like some weird warrior decks can catch you off guard, and yeah, there's probably a few more. If you don't keep up with Red Eyes Zombie, it can outpace you for the control. Regular Red Eyes I don't find any trouble against really, and yeah. Horus, it can be a pain. Phoenix can be a pain in situational on what you start in your open hand with, but yeah. So we're gonna go against the Yamayugi here. This is in Plat 1. We're playing this deck, and looks like we got Massive Morph, Draining Shield, Wall Disruption, and Sphere Karibo. We got 2 Parasites into their deck with our Parasite Infestation card, skill I mean. Sorry about that. Okay, so they're gonna play a Doll and a Face Down, and it's our turn. So we'll draw. We get a Sphere Karibo. Alright, so I'm going to play Draining Shield, and I'm going to play Wall Disruption as well. We got a lot of control here, so I'm allowed to really play 2 cards for this. The reason why I played Wall Disruption is the exact reason right there. So, definitely playing that Wall Disruption this turn. Because after the Summoner Circle goes through, you cannot use the Wall Disruption. You have to count it right there to chain it. So right here, I'm just going to let this go through, this 300, and this Dark Magician Girl is going to get Draining Shield. I will gain 2.2k, an LP, and negate the attack. So it gives me back the lead of LP gain. So right here is a really good hand as well. We're going to play this Floodgate because he might sack both of those. We're going to play this Massive Morph as well. We have 2 Sphere Karibos in our hand. So we're going to our opponent's turn. See what they do. Sorry if the background music's too loud. I might have to adjust that in future videos. Shouldn't be too loud. And there's the Dark Magician. Okay, I figured that's what would be coming. So what's going to happen here is, as soon as that Dark Magician hits the board, I'm going to Floodgate it. If I ever get my turn fully. Well, they got that, so I'm going to Floodgate the Dark Magician. Alright, so Dark Magician got changed to face down defense position and is locked there. And they will probably attack me with Dark Magician Girl, which I'm not going to let get through. I am actually going to Massive Morph it this turn, because I have 2 Sphere Karibos for situational. I could have Sphere Karibo'd it, but I'd rather use the Massive Morph instead of taking the possible get destroyed. So, alright, we got Massive Curse. This is kind of a dead hand to play anything on the board. So, we'll pass our turn. And we will see what they do here. Okay, next turn they draw into a Parasite, but they're not going to let it hit the board. They're going to play that Rogue Doll they probably got. Oh, so we got another Dark Magician girl coming out here. And oh, he thinks he's going to go all out. So I'm just going to Sphere Karibo this the second it tries to attack me. So, not happening. There's a Sphere Karibo. And we are going to... yeah. That's that. Alright, our turn, draw. Ooh, Draining Shield. That's nice. I'm not going to worry about it too much though. I'm going to play it down. Maybe I'm going to use the mask on the other Dark Magician that I Sphere Karibo last turn. Because they're going to get that Parasite on the board and they're going to take 1,000. So here that comes. And they take 1,000. Alright, I do have a Draining Shield and a Sphere Karibo in hand, just in case they had some way to break that mask. So, Windstorm, great draw. They're going to take 500 more damage from my mask, and I'm going to end my turn at that. Because I don't want to play the Windstorm, I don't want a full board. Some people just run that one trap card that destroys all spell trap cards you have in your field. So they're going to attack me with this Parasite. I'm actually going to let it go through. I'm not too worried about it, just this turn at least. So let's see what I draw into here. Wall of Disruption. Okay, so next turn I'm probably going to use the Draining Shield and play the Wall of Disruption, so then that'll just be 0. And yeah. Let's see what they pull off this turn. They could play Dark Magician here. I'm not too worried about it though. There could be another Dark Magician girl even. It doesn't look like it. So I'm going to activate Draining Shield here. I mean, it's only 500, but we're back at 5,900. So, okay, so next, they're going to end their turn, my turn. I'm doing commentary for this video, play-by-play, just so you can see how I play this deck. And you can either learn to play against it or play it as well. So I'm going to play Wall Disruption face down and end my turn. They're going to come at me with that Parasite again, probably. And I have Wall Disruption, so it'll be 0. And I won't have to worry about taking any damage at all. So here it comes again. I'm going to activate Wall Disruption. Alright. They could have something to counter this if they really... They might, I don't know. Nope, doesn't look like it. So 0. Everything on the board is 0 at the moment. And they conceded. Okay, so what I would have done next is probably just let the mask kill him until I drew Lava Golem or another mask even. And yeah. So basically that's all for this video. Actually,